Hi class, today we're going to continue looking at angle relationships. So we've already learned that supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees, complementary angles add up to 90 degrees, angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees, opposite angles are equal to each other, and angles around a point add up to 360. In today's lesson, we're going to be putting it all together, and we'll be looking at examples that combine two or more of each angle. So our first example, it's asking us to find h and g. So I'm going to start with h since it's the first one that it's asking about. I notice that h is inside a triangle, and I know that angles inside a triangle add up to 180. But in order to figure out the third angle in a triangle, you need to know at least two other angles inside the triangle. And since I don't know g, I only know 56, I can't figure out h at this time, so I need to first figure out g. I notice that g and 148 are supplementary because they lie along a straight line, and I can draw a semicircle through them. Half a circle is equal to 180, so these add up to 180. 180 minus 148 is 32 degrees because they are supplementary. And now that I know g, I can figure out h. 180 minus 56 minus 32 is equal to 92 degrees, and I was able to figure this out because angles of a triangle equal 180 degrees. For my next example, I'm going to ignore this order and just go in the order that makes most sense to me. So for me, the first one that makes most sense is if I know that this is 90 degrees, I know that C is an opposite angle to 90 degrees. The next thing I notice is that I have two angles of a triangle, so I can figure out A by doing 180 minus 67 minus 90 degrees because I know angles of a triangle add up to 180. The next angle I'm going to solve is angle D, and one strategy I like to use is you can take your hand or you could take a piece of paper and you could actually cover the angles to make it a little bit simpler. So I'm going to cover this, and it is a little bit more clear to me that C and D lie on a straight line. You can make a semicircle through them, meaning that they're supplementary angles and add up to 180. So if I know C, I can find D. And 180 minus 90 is also going to be 90 degrees. For my last angle, I want to find B, but in order to find the angles of a triangle, I need to at least know two other angles, but in this case I only know one. So in order to find out B, I must X. X and D are opposite angles, so X will also be 90 degrees. So then I can find out B by doing 180 minus 59 minus 90 equals 31 degrees. For my next example, I'm going to use the same strategy. Even though this might look overwhelming, I'm going to do the angles that I know first, and then figuring out one angle will lead you to figure out another angle until you have figured them all out. Right away, I notice that B and E are opposite angles. For me, those are the easiest to find out, so I'm going to solve those first. B is opposite to 41 degrees, and E is opposite to 65 degrees. And now that I know these two interior angles of the triangle, I can figure out A because they have to add up to 180. So 180 minus 41 degrees minus 65 degrees is going to equal 74 degrees for angle A, and the reason is because angles of a triangle equal 180. To find angle D, I'm going to use the same strategy as before. I'm going to use my hand to cover the angles to try and find my supplementary angle. And because A and D make a semicircle with each other, it means they're supplementary and they are found along a straight line, so they equal 180. So to find D, I do 180 minus 74. So angle D is equal to 106 degrees, and the reason is because A and D were supplementary angles to each other. To find angle C, I'm going to use this strategy again, but I can actually cover in two ways this angle to figure out what it is. I can cover it like this, and I see that 41 and C are supplementary to each other because they go along a straight line and they make a semicircle. Or I can take my hand and I can cover it like this, and I see that angles C and B are also supplementary to each other because they make a semicircle along a straight line. Both strategies gives you the same answer for C. It's just different ways of looking at it. So in both of these cases, I would do 180 minus 41 to get C. So solving for my final angle, C is 139 degrees, and because it was supplementary to 41 degrees. Okay.
Thank you for watching.